Hey everybody, today we're going to see how to convert an old computer power supply to use for charging RC batteries. So yeah, this is your typical ATX Chinese power supply, which as you can see here I've already used for I don't know, powering a wind farm. No idea. Any case, this was in a home built server with a lot of fans, and we're going to repurpose this and use it to charge lithium polymer batteries. Well, to power the charger at least. So first things first, when you plug in a computer power supply or a PC power supply, nothing happens. Okay, this is because the power supply is expecting a signal from the motherboard indicating that you've switched on the computer. Now if you have a look at the ATX plug here that normally goes onto the motherboard, there's a whole bunch of wires. The only one we're interested in here is the green one over there, and any black one. All the black cables that you see here are grounds. And what we need to do is we simply need to short out the green with the black, and the power supply will actually power on. So since we're not going to use this plug anymore, I'm just going to butcher it here. Just to demonstrate that it actually does switch on. I'm just stripping a ground wire and the green wire. Okay, so look at the fan. I'm going to join the green to the black, and voila, it powers on. Okay, so with that out of the way, now we have to clean this up. We have to get rid of all of these cables. The best way to do this would be to open it up and cut all the wires out. I don't know really if I want to do that today. Let's see. Let's have a look. Let's open it up and see what we have to work with inside. Obviously choose the biggest screwdriver because that's the one that's going to be the most difficult to open this thing. But that's the first one I could grab, so yeah, whatever. Okay, now once you've unscrewed this, carefully place the screws where you will knock them over and never see them again. Screws behind this warranty seal, which, well, doesn't mean much today. Okay, cover just lifts off. As you can see, here's a nice dirty power supply. Dirty in terms of dust and goo and I don't know what that is. Yeah, so basically we just want to tidy it up a bit and just take a few wires out for some power. So first of all, we don't need all of these orange cables. The proper way would be to remove this PC board and desolder it from the bottom there, but I don't do proper. So what I do is good enough. So let's chop that off. Now we don't want to chop all the wires off. You know what? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's get all the same color wires here. Okay, so the red wires are 5 volts. The black is ground. The yellow is 12 volts positive. So today we're interested in 12 volts positive. And yeah, so we have to make sure that there's a yellow wire and a black wire which is still feeding out from this power supply, so we can use it to charge our batteries. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to remove all of these different voltages which we don't need, and how I'm going to do that is I'm just going to cut it short like that. Don't worry, we're not going to leave them exposed like this, because that's obviously a risk. Okay. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to just keep the red, black and yellow. Everything else has to go. Okay, so as you can see here, we've only got red, black and yellow coming out here now. In here we've got orange, which I believe is 3.3 volts. And what have I done? You remember the green wire I talked about earlier? This is it. And if you have a look over there, it says PS on. So this is the signal wire. Now I cut this off because I'm doof. But what we have to do is we just have to connect this to ground and we're good to go. So not all hope is lost. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, lucky day. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have none of the wires come out here. I'm just going to mount these posts on the top of the power supply. Maybe, yes, and you'll have your positive and negative feeds from there. Wow, as you can see, this video is not planned at all, but it's okay. This is how we do things, yeah. So let's start by joining these cables together with a bit of heat shrink, which I'll magically pull out of the air here. Voila. See, so I'm going to slide that right over there. And then I'm going to heat it up. You can use insulation tape or, well, yeah, insulation tape or any sort of insulation to do this. Okay, wrong switch. Okay, so that's one down. I want to cover these others, yeah, the other ones over here as well. Just get some heat shrink for that. I think this will fit. Yeah. So this is a very lazy way of doing it, but it works just as well. Okay, let's heat this up. Okay, so with that all heat shrinked up, let's strip this wire, which I shouldn't have cut, but anyways, it's too late now to cry over cut wires. Speaking of cut wires, I'm just going to chop everything off here, because this is not easy to work with at the moment. So let's just get it to an okay length here. Okay, this is rubbish. Okay, let's try this. Now, ideally, you'd be doing this with wire cutters. Oh, not wire cutters, wire stripper. But I don't have that, so I'm just using side cutters. Alright, let's just solder this wire. Pre-tin it or tin it. Okay, now let's take one of the black wires and simply join it there. Alright, let's get a piece of heat shrink. Slide it over there. Cool. Now let's solder this to that. Make sure the joint is nice and shiny. You don't want it dry looking. If it looks dry, it is dry. And dry joints don't last. And heat shrink shrinks fast. Haha! Okay, let's oh man. Okay. So as you can see, the heat shrink shrunk before I could slide it over the joint there. So I'm going to attempt this again. Get both joints nice and shiny. Okay, I'm going to wait a few seconds for that to cool before I slide over the heat shrink. But while I'm waiting for that, let's see what we can do with these wires. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the reds. You don't need to take all of them, but it's better because basically your load will be split over all of these wires instead of just a single one. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to connect all of them together. Okay, the same for the black, same for the yellow. Now what we do is this. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to use 3. And the rest I'll cover with heat shrink. So we use 3 each. That will be more than enough. As you can see, this planned video is going smoothly. Alright. Once again, you can use insulation tape to achieve the same thing here, but yeah, I've got a heat shrink, so we're using that. Okay. Cool. Let's see if this is okay. I think I might have chosen a heat shrink that is slightly too small for this bit over here. But okay, there we go. There we go, so that's our signal cable sorted out. We've got our positive 5 volts. Let's do a ground. So let's grab 3 grounds here. As you can see, there is a million of them. Well, give or take a few. Alright, so we've got 3 grounds here. Let's just try and make it look a bit decent. Okay, we'll take these 3 and these we'll cut off. Grab some heat shrink. There we go. Ow! Okay, that gets a bit hot. Slightly hot. Okay, so what I meant to do was use 3 and cut the rest away, but as you can see, I've managed to not do that. Alrighty. As you can see, I can't fit them all into one piece of heat shrink, so we'll split them in 2. Can I squeeze that one in? Yes, I can. Okay. There we go. Alrighty, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so here's our 3 grounds. Okay, now we're just stripping them. Now let's twist them together. So even if you don't have a soldering iron, you could do this. You could basically just twist the wires together, and I mean that will work. That will really work. It won't be the best looking or the best performing, I suppose, but hey, if you need to make a plan, that'll work. Okay, alright, that's soldered up real good. Now let's do the 12 volts. So that's 5 volt ground, let's do 12 volts, yellow wire. Okay, so we're going to keep 3 of them. Let's choose these 3 over here, and let's cut off these 3. Okay, once again, we'll cover this up with a piece of heat shrink. Now be careful not to set anything else on fire while doing this. You can do this with a hot air station like I'm doing, or you can use a lighter or any form of heat, I suppose. But yeah, just be mindful of the surroundings, and yeah, try not to set stuff on fire. Alright, so there we've done that. Let's strip the yellow wires. Okay, let's get them all the same length more or less, twist them together. Great. Just clean that soldering iron. Okay. Okay, cool. So what I want to show you guys is that we are getting some power out of this power supply. Without using a multimeter, let me show you. This is the charger that we want to use with this power supply. I'm going to hook it up to the negative there and to the 12 volt positive. Okay, and just making sure that the 5 volt doesn't short anywhere. Alright, so in theory we can just plug this in to the AC power and it should fire right up. Let's have a look. There we go. Cool. So let's take out the lethal power. So now we know this thing sort of works. We need to put some connectors on the top of this lid, and yeah, I guess that will be it. So I'm quickly going to drill a few holes in this. Yeah, be back in a sec. Okay, before I go crazy and drill, let me just show you. These posts have a little spacer which insulates it from the metal that you're mounting this to. So I need to drill the hole on the spacer's inner size, which is 8 millimeters, or roughly 1/4 inch. Okay, so let me head out, quickly drill 2 holes in here. I'm going to locate them where these wires are more or less, and yeah, be back now. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, we've got the worst 2 holes I could possibly drill, but they're holes nonetheless. So let us proceed with this. What we do is we stick the post through there, and find its under bits, stick it over there, washer, this little funny looking thing, which is actually where the wires are going to go onto. So let's not put that on right now, because otherwise we're going to struggle to solder in there. And as you can see, I've just thrown everything all over the workbench. I'm just going to put this nut in here so that it doesn't run away. And yeah, let's put the red one in as well. just stick this end on so we don't lose that. Okay. Alright, washer. Alrighty, let's just put this aside. So now we need to solder these tabs onto the wires that we've cut over here. Alrighty, so let's turn this tab over here. Oh, luckily it turns very easily. So let's solder the wire on there. Ah! Ah, for fuck's sake. Okay. Scorched fingers and all. Let's check this out. Yeah, there we go. So now let's do the same to the earth. Wrong way. Okay, great. Now we've got these two tabs which will screw onto the posts. Let's put a little bit of heat shrink around it, just for safety's sake, I think. Alrighty, so let's just slide that over there. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. Same for this one. Oh, it burns us. Alrighty, so now the red wire, which is the positive 5 volt, we're just going to heat shrink this for now, as we'll not be using this for the charger, but we'll leave it here in case we one day want a 5 volt power supply for some reason. I'm making this power supply for a friend of mine, and they'll only be using it for their charger, I think. But yeah, if he chooses to one day use it for electronics or whatever, then you can use the 5 volt power supply to power your logic circuits. Let's heat shrink this as well. It's not gonna fit. Let's put it like that. Okay. Oops, wrong one. Okay, that should be just fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cable tie or zip tie these cables together so that they don't flop around and cause any issues, as floppy things tend to do. Let's do that. Grab this wire as well. Great. That looks a lot better. Alright, all that we have left to do is to connect these to the posts on the top cover, which we'll do now. Let's start with the positive side. Just unscrew that. In actual fact, let's screw this down all the way. And using a highly sophisticated tool, you just tighten this down onto the casing. You can do this for the negative as well. There we go. Alright, so let's attempt to get this working. As you can see, I'm already struggling because the cables are too damn short. But this is not my first rodeo, but I am still a clown. So we'll just stick this in there. See that? Okay, so let's try and tighten this down. Okay, one down, another one to go. This, folks, is why you have to think things through. If you don't and you just wing it, this happens. Exactly this. Wow. How am I supposed to do this? Okay, so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to bend this open. Real professional like. Okay, now we've got easy access. Great. Okay, that's real tight. Now let's bend this back. There we go. Like it never happened. Cool. Let's stick the lid back on. And of course that screw is somewhat stripped. But it's okay. I still love it. Just make sure that it clips in nicely, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. There we go. If you want, you can tear off this unsightly glue, which magically appears on power supplies when they get converted for whatever use. There we go, that's off. Alright, so here we go. Let's give it another test. So we're going to connect the negative there, positive to there, and plug in some power. Cool, that seems to be working fine. Thanks for watching, guys. If you felt frustrated by this video, please hit like. If you didn't like the video, hit like anyways. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys soon.